Yeah, you puff it with your butthole. Yeah, I
It's
bet
like
you could.
on Jackass. Do you remember on that Jackass like throwaway clip? It's probably like Jackass 1.5 where they're like, "This is Tony and he can inhale farts back into his ass," and then he's like leaning on his back and he like has like one of those blow darts and he goes like holds it away from his ass and you hear his ass go like literally. It sounds like a fart in reverse motion, and then he puts that down with the dart in it, and Steve-O is holding a balloon in his mouth, and he goes farts, sends the dart. Pops the balloon. Really impressive. Very
That
impressive.
is really impressive. That's so much more impressive than there used to be so much nasty shit on Howard Stern. Whenever like the episodes I would skip would be when they had like the fart competitions or the queef competitions. Like they had like a master farter who could like lay on his back and put his knees in the air and like suck air into his asshole and then just blast it back out again. And it's like, all right, come on, that's not fair. That's not a fart. You're just like filling your ass with the air in the room and then blasting it out, and then the girl can do the same thing. So they have like this competition where at first they, you know, he goes and then she goes, and then the end is like, all right, now both of you at the same time, go, and it's just and it's just disgusting.
I would hate that on the radio.
What the room smells like,
dude. All it would take for me to like turn off an episode of O&A back in the day is like if I tuned in early when they were like, yeah, just bring in the breakfast, and I can. And it'd be like, oh, eating on mic? No, not an episode for me today. Can't handle that. Can't handle you eating into the mic. I don't know.
Who would eat into the mic? Which one?
It would be Opie ate into the mic in like a, like, oh, I'm so like, oh, I don't care about the rules. I'm, you know, what? And he would also burp into the mic, and it was like, dude, that's
really
fucking
hate
hard.
that.
And I hated that about him. And then Jimmy. Love Jimmy, but he was bad about that. Honestly, all three of them ate into the fucking microphone in the mornings often. And it was the part. I love that show. You know, I'm the biggest fan of that show ever, but I can't listen to
Stern wouldn't put up with that.
Yeah. Hopefully Stern would be like, are you eating? You know, you're at work doing a show, right? You can't wait until 2 more hours.
Like Artie would eat. Artie would like, you know, he'd get there like borderline late or sometimes actually late, you know, hungover from fucking heroin. And he'd be over there with his McDonald's breakfast, but he would be muted. You know, because he doesn't have an open mic. You know, he's the guy that chimes in, and but he would never eat on mic, and that's Artie Lang high on heroin. Like,
he's like fucked up out of his mind. And he's like, I got a joke. Oh, I'm chewing. What am I, an idiot? Like, let me finish this bite first.
YouTubers do it a lot. They belch on mic and such, and I hate it. And it's like, this is a heavily edited video. You know, there have been 90 jump cuts in the last 5 minutes, and you belched into mic. That was an intentional decision where you're like, oh, this is gold. I can't cut this out. No, you can, dude. You can. It's awful.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTubers, I got a little Rascal McGovern's update.
Go on.
Yes.
As everyone may or may not know, Rascal McGovern's part of a little organization that seeks out and exposes child predators. And he exposed EDP 445. Is that our man's name?
Do we remember Rascal's real name?
Who cares?
Okay. I like Rascal McGovern's. Yeah.
People listening
real
might
name
want to associate it with the guy.
Look up the EDP thing, and then he's the other guy.
Yeah, he's the other guy who's in hot water right now because Rascal himself. There's a lot of videos of him doing some real borderline stuff. Like I guess he live streams.
Chet Goldstein.
That's almost as good. That sounds made up. That sounds as made up as Rascal McGovern's.
You know what? If we're picking up two made up names,
Hi, I'm Chet Goldstein here with my partner Rascal McGovern's. We're gonna expose some child predators today. Let's get after it. That's right, Rascal. No, that sounds like a made up name. Anyway, he's in some hot water. They started digging some clips up of him, and you noticed when he was exposing EDP, he was slipping in a lot of jokes, right? Making fun of EDP's dick.
He had a tight five planned out.
He had a tight five.
Yeah.
Making fat jokes like you said here you're going to climb through a window. Please, you couldn't climb. You know, it's just making fun of his weight the whole way through. One little tidbit that we didn't know about was that EDP also got tricked into sending. We know about the dick pic, right? Yeah. And we saw those real cringy pics of him like with his head on the pillow, like being like, give daddy a kiss goodnight. And it's like giving his best, like schmarmy, like handsome face. And it's just like, oh, this is so
trying
cringe.
to give like smoky bedroom eyes.
Yeah. Like it's real gross. He also got duped into sending shit pictures. Right. I guess the decoy was like, show me that big daddy doo-doo. Show me that big chocolate loaf. I want to see it. Pinch one off for your little baby girl. And yeah, and I'm making all that up. But the thing that's true is she asked him for doo-doo pics, and he obliged. He sent doo-doo pics apparently. And that's just like an extra little dose of like, this is so gross. Come on, like look, if you're into doo-doo pics, I'm not judging. If somebody out there is like offended right now, like, hey, me and my husband love to exchange doo-doo pics. Okay, we love it. We get off on it. All right, cool. That's your bag. You're both adults though. We're talking about, sending doo-doo pics to a 13-year-old girl. It's so fucking weird. Anyway, Rascal himself. The
13-year-old wants doo-doo pics from a 30-year-old man.
God no. So Rascal himself, like these clips came out of him, and in one of them, he's in like a Walmart, appeared to be streaming, and he's like making little jokes, right, with some like shopper there about how he has a 3-year-old in his basement with a vitamin D deficiency. And he goes, he's like, maybe he's even buying vitamin D, and that's why he's making the joke. But he's like, yeah, she's got a vitamin D deficiency, but not a D deficiency, if you know what I mean. And the lady's like, oh, that's not cool. and he's just like, hey, I was a virgin. I wanted to lose my virginity. What am I gonna do? And he's like basically like joking around about having a 3-year-old sex slave in his basement. Pretty edgy stuff for a Walmart conversation with a stranger. But I guess I can like not judge that too harshly. It's like, all right, you made a real blue joke. Didn't really get any laughs. Probably shouldn't be doing that in public. Like maybe if like you're in a situation like this here, like where we are, you could make some sort of nasty joke like that.
Everybody else in self-checkout in that position. Just buy your food and leave.
Yeah, it was weird. And then there's another clip where he's like streaming with this other guy, and they've got this awful like upward facing angle because they're clearly like holding a cell phone like down here and like looking down at the phone, and they both look like such creeps. And he's dropping N-bomb after N-bomb, and it's not in a referential way, because I think if you're referencing something, you should absolutely be able to say the N-word. If you're like, a fight got started last night, well, the white guy called the black guy, and then I feel like you could say it then. I guess you can't, but at least in that situation, like I won't say it, but
obviously different relaying a story in that way than it is you maliciously saying that to a black person.
I agree with what you're saying. What he did to me,
I haven't seen the video. I need to find
it. I'll tell you about it. I almost give him that shock jock pass, that comedian pass a little. Well, what he had done is he called a Black Lives Matter hotline, and then while calling Black Lives Matter, while streaming it, trying to put on some sort of show, he made a bunch of homophobic, racist, and pedophilia jokes and slurs and shit like that. Is it good? No. It's mean. It's a whole problem. But it's also not exactly we caught him in a candid moment that people put it out to be.
So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about him live streaming in that gross angle and being like, and somebody's like, oh, hang on, that's what you're saying is racist. And him being like, yeah, you're probably just an angry N-word. You're an N-word, you fat N-word. Like he's throwing malicious N-words out.
Oh, that is like catching him in a candid moment.
And it's not candid. He's fucking live streaming to his phone. It's like
he's live streaming.
This is a live stream he's doing, and he's laughing and using the N-word in a malicious, hateful way, attacking people with it. And like he drops like 4 of them in a row, and his buddy's laughing about it, and he's dropping them too, and they both look like the worst examples of white people you've ever seen. Is his buddy the one that
was in the EDP video?
No.
Different
buddy. Now I want to be clear that guy seems to be all in the clear. His partner that was in that video seems like a decent guy who's just been kind of caught in the crossfire between a shit picture taking pedophile and a racist, homophobic white dude who wanted to cash in on his expose. And then then there was one more clip of him like doing some borderline shit. There were several. Anyway, he's been deleted. They took his YouTube channel away, I believe. So EDP and Rascal have been demonetized.
It's an hour and 20-minute stream of him calling BLM hotlines and saying the N-word. I was for a clip to get caught up of like I was expecting like a 30-second clip, an hour and a feature children's film. I'll say,
an
hour and 19 minutes. I'm not watching all that.
Yeah. I watched what's that guy? Penguin. You know the guy I'm talking about. He's got the long Jesus. He looks like Jesus with long hair. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know who that is.
I watched his video about all of this, and he had like a few little clips of him. If anybody's curious about that, go check out Penguin's video. I don't know, but it's like Penguin and then some numbers, or maybe it's Penguins with a Z. I don't know.
Penguins.
Yeah.
Penguins.
Yeah, he's got an interesting little video about it. It's like 12 minutes long. It's a quick little watch. He kind of gets to the heart of the matter, and he makes some good points in there. You know, he explains that like some people are like people on the internet. It's hard to deal with people on the internet. It's hard to deal with being misunderstood sometimes. I guess like one guy will say, "No, Rascal McGovern's did a good thing here. He exposed a child predator," and them going, "No, Rascal's a racist." It's like, yeah, he is a racist. He's a bad guy, but we can still agree that a bad guy did a good thing. And that's sort of the one of the main points of Penguin's video. And I like that a lot because he's just like, bad people can do good things and we can acknowledge that. Okay. We're not patting him on the back. We're not giving him a pass for the racism, like crazy, ridiculous racism.
What kind of non-retarded person though is struggling with this? Like, who's out there like commenting like, this guy's such a fucking racist?
Like 10% of the internet.
I wish that EDP was still out. I wish that EDP was out there finding 13-year-olds to his heart's content instead of being caught by.
Well, he is still out there. It's not like he's got charges against him or anything. Like the problem with a Rascal McGovern's expose, it is not quite legally binding. All right, he didn't have like the local PD there with him or anything. It's I'm sure none of us would like to be in EDP's shoes, because they gotta smell so bad. But fungus. You wouldn't want to be in his position right now.
I feel bad for that guy in the bandana then, because he was the only one initially, like you were saying, who was like, "And you're a fucking pedophile! How dare you do this?" And then the fat blue shirt guy's like, "Yeah, and the thing about fat people is they want to apparently fuck kids. What's the deal with you?" Like, so, imagine being that guy. He's like, "Yeah, guess what I'm doing? I'm joining an anti-pedophile alliance. We're going to fight against evil. My boss? Nah, just met him, but I mean, he's on the anti-pedophile team. Under the covers here."
He's the commander. He actually calls himself the Grand Wizard of Pedophile Catchers. It's great. He's got this whole uniform with a hood and this red cross. Wait a minute. I've seen that. Oh no, Mom, I got to let you go.
Yeah, I signed a contract. I agreed to be the Grand Cyclops. I didn't know. I just thought it was a cool, creative kind of frat thing.
Chet Goldstein, we're calling him Rascal McGoverns. He caught a guy in Nebraska and made a difference. The guy was charged with 1 count of attempted first-degree sexual assault and 10 counts of possession of child porn.
Woo.
Okay, well, he's been. How many people? Does it say how many people he's got? Or maybe not.
That's the only example I have.
How many pedophiles does he have under his belt, per se?
He's got a knife with 1 notch on it, as far as I can tell. There was another time where he used his own cousin, who was 16, as the decoy.
Oh, that's the other clip. Okay, so there's another clip in Penguin's video that's very creepy. So it is, and I don't know if, so it's video of Rascal's face, a little bit zoomed in so far that it's creepy mode. And I don't know what the context is. I don't know who's shooting that video, but it appears that he himself is filming it and perhaps even live streaming it. But he is having a conversation with a 13-year-old girl, and he is asking her for pictures of herself because he's using her as a decoy to catch pedophiles. All right, can you see the 3D chess that has happened here?
This is
Rascal McGovern's has some real 3D chess moves right here, because he's like, yeah, I catch pedophiles, so I need decoys. So I contact 13-year-olds and I ask them for provocative pictures of themselves. Like, and he's talking to her. He's like, "You are 13,
catch your
right?"
Fish without bait, Kyle.
There you go.
Think ahead, right?
He's out there getting bait. Like on some kind of a live stream or some shit. And he's talking to this 13-year-old girl, and he's like, "So you are 13, right? For sure." And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, so take your shirt off and do it slow and stick your tongue out while you do it." But yeah, I know. This is the sort of thing that those creeps ask for.
Oh my God. Wait, this is all real? He was doing this?
I'm not making this up. This isn't hyperbole. This is verbatim. Like this is exactly what.
That
what
is wild. What a circumnavigation to be like, "Oh, you know what? If I pretend to be the anti-pedo guy, I could have, all the and then first of all, that's not how the law works. They're not going to be like, whoa, I'm Judge McStevenson, and this man was acquiring the child porn in good faith, to use against the true evils in this world.
On the other hand, Taylor, he should have been one of those special victims units cops, right? He could have looked at child porn professionally,
endlessly.
He could have hard drives full of it.
I bet some of those people that review that stuff are definitely pedophiles. Definitely. Yeah. And that
I'm
they
a step ahead of the game, boys.
I bet it. FBI agent.
I got this figured out.
Yeah.
You guys still on the dark web? Guess who brings me my shit? The police.
It's next level. Get it figured out.
Next level. Fucking creeps.